We got hards on. We're going to the end.
Oh, it's everyone's favorite moment of the season. It's F1 testing. I'm not going to pretend to. I'm not going to try to hype it up or anything. Although I am going to talk about it because as much as I like to pretend like I'm better, I'm not. And I'm desperate, just like the rest of you, for any F1 content I can get my greasy little mitts on. So yeah, we are going to talk about F1 testing. More like F1 testing my patience. Am I right? That's what you guys come in for. Great remarks like that. But it is because for me, like I love football. That is my first love, my true love, football, right? But if like a couple weeks before the season, they just put on like footage of them training, like they just televised training sessions for 3 hours. I wouldn't sit there and watch it, and then just listen to the commentary. Like it is just like I feel like if you're watching testing, it's not even that you love Formula One so much and you can't just get enough. It's almost like you just love Crofty. I'm assuming that's who's talking about Crofty and the gang. So essentially, it's like you're tuning in for just a 3 hour Crofty podcast with like, the driving being the subway surfers adjacent, just to sort of keep you interested. And, but really it's just Crofty droning in your ears about, yappa yappa, yippee yappa, about whatever, right? But nonetheless, I'm going to talk about it. So here I am feeding right into it. Not in a massive way. I'm just going to give you the timings. But before I do give you these timings, right, this is literally said by Lewis Hamilton, like straight after, which is what we all know anyway. It's not like Lewis said it, so now it's true. But, timings and all that stuff is kind of not massively relevant. Brilliant, Lewis. Just spent the last 8 hours of my weekend watching that. It was actually my weekday, wasn't, had it in the earphones at work or whatever it is. But, regardless, cheers, mate. You know what I mean? I love when like the drivers they don't play any part in like advertisement or stuff. There'll be like Max Verstappen's great at this. There'll be a new Vegas obviously track or something. He'll just be like, I think it's shit. He'll just like say it or what he thinks about it, and it's like, no, you meant to promote. You meant no. You know what I mean? But it's whatever. Here. What else did he say, actually? But at the moment, it feels the car is underneath me. I feel the car is responding to my input. He's saying the generic stuff. I didn't really need to copy that part of the quote. It was not relevant. But anyway, on day one, the fastest was Lando Norris with a 1:30.4. Day two, the fastest was Carlos Sainz with a 1:29.3. So a second quicker. And then Inner Williams. And then on the third day, it was George Russell with a 1:29.5. Meaning the fastest time over the 3 days, I believe, from what I've just read there is, Carlos Sainz. I got to change my predictions then. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really matter. I don't think that means anything. But I guess it's nice to see the drive. It's nice to see people actually come around a little bit, and by a little bit, if it's only even like moving the Ferrari livery from their 10th least favorite to their 8th or 7th least favorite, I'll take that. At least people are coming around. They're starting to see it on track. They're starting to see the beauty of it. What can I say? I mean, I didn't design the car and I don't get paid for liking it, but I'm gonna keep pretending like I do. Another thing that happened outside of testing, which I keep going off my way to mention I didn't watch it. It doesn't make you cool, mate. Stop bringing it up. Is Lewis Hamilton was getting sassy for no reason, but he was. He said, "Don't ever compare me." By the way, I don't know if there was a question preceding this. It's kind of funnier to imagine there wasn't, but I'm assuming someone asked him a question in which they compared him to someone. Although it's funny just to imagine he's just saying this to a random person for no reason. But don't ever compare me to anybody else. I'm the first black driver that's ever been in this sport. By the way, by this current tone, just off this quote that I'm reading, it makes it sound like his next lines would be, and I'm the last, bitch. You know what I mean? I had to say bitch quietly because I don't want to think people, I said it quietly. I don't want people to hear me outside and think I'm being loud and aggressive. I don't know. I didn't have to clarify why I said bitch quietly, but I am, and I'm really digging a deep hole here. Just get back to the point. I'm in a weird mood right now. Hamilton is a great. I feel like he just watched like The Last Dance, whatever it's called, the Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls thing. I never seen it. The basketball documentary. Like, he's gotten some of that American kind of like, let's fuck. People said I couldn't do it. You know, but people love to do this when they win. Like a team like who's like, you know, like Man City or like, you know, the Patriots or like Golden State Warriors. I'm just trying to think about dominant teams in recent times, right? They'll win something and they'll be like, they said I couldn't do it. They said it couldn't be done. And it's like, no one said that, man. Maybe 4 people did, but they hone in on that and that fuels them. That's partly why they're the best, because they get so obsessive over those little things. When realistically, no one said that, mate. Everyone, you're kind of well regarded as one of the best. But either way, he's clearly been watching something like that and he's got that in his system. Or whatever it is, or just maybe being in Ferrari red, he's feeling himself. Like he's seen himself in red and he goes, I look good. You know, like, oh. You know, now he's really feeling himself or whatever. But he's saying all of this. What do you say after that? I'm built different. This is the real reason I feel like he's just watched. You know, alright, David Goggins, or whatever his name is. Like, is this a quote from Lewis Hamilton from like a press conference type thing? Or did he say this while shirtless running down the motorway on like a TikTok with dramatic music playing in the background? If you know the ones, those TikToks that I did not ask for, but I see on my homepage. I did not ask to see those, but I have to see them call me lazy, you know, and tell me to get out of bed and stop watching TikTok and actually attack life. Those TikToks, this is the energy Hamilton's giving me right now. You can't compare me to another 40-year-old, past or present, Formula One driver in history, because they are nothing like me. I am hungry. Well, here's the thing though, right? And this sounds like I'm really hating on Lewis. Nothing like me? Okay. You're black, which is the difference, and you are a 7-time watcher. But there is other 40-year-old Formula One drivers, past and present, who have like, I think they can be compared. It's like apples to oranges. It's like people say, you know, apples to oranges, you can't compare them. And it's like they are different. An apple is different to an orange, but it is a fruit. I feel like it can be compared still. You know, it's like it's different, but it's not a different kettle of, it's not like apples to fucking goalkeepers. You know, it's like they're still in the same realm. But anyway, I'm hungry, driven, don't have a wife. Okay, and kids. I'm focused on one thing, and that's winning. That's my number one priority. Really, you had your arm real tight around Shakira a couple of times last season, and also, mate, you didn't have a wife or kids when you got beat by George Russell. And I'm just joshing. Hamilton gang. What are they called? They're called Hamilton gang. What are the Hamilton fans called? I can't remember, but guys, I'm joking. I like Hamilton, obviously. Prior to watching sport, he was obviously the only driver I knew, and I back him. And I if you watch my predictions video, you know I like Hamilton. You know I'm predicting good things. It's just I was just making bad jokes, okay? And I'm sorry. And I like Hamilton, obviously. You know, it's just the tone. I actually have nothing against anything he's saying. It's all true. Like obviously he is very unique in a sport, and yet he's managed still we rise, guys, still we rise. You know, and that's a very little credit. It's just funny because the statement just came out of nowhere and it's just so aggressive. But I guess we're going to the new season. He's really trying to put his on a table. You know what I mean? Moving on from there though, what's the next thing we can talk about? Well, Monaco actually. Little news here. I'm kind of worried I'm rushing through things really quickly, but we should be fine. Monaco, 2 mandatory pit stops now. They're adding a pit stop, so I guess before it was 1. That's 2 is the number after 1, and I like that. I like that because Monaco. I think I read. I saw Liam Lawson doing a this or that video, and I was playing along, like thinking, what might this or that be? They were asking him like, water or flat or sparkling, cats or dogs, and then one of the questions was Vegas or Monaco, and obviously Vegas is more fun, but I was thinking about it and I went Monaco because I just think you can't get rid of Monaco. I think it is important to just the sport of Formula One. I'm not even been watching it that long and I already feel that way. I just think, sure, it's one like boring race, but it's a different race. And in that sense, it's already good. Like all the stars are out. Obviously it's big onus on qualifying. And it's just really tight track, and that gives you like a lot of respect for what the drivers have to do. It's like really difficult, and I like that. I like there being different tracks that require different skill sets and are different spectacles. I don't want 20 Monacos a season, but I like that there is this Monaco. And I think the bigger issue isn't the Monacos of the calendar, but the tracks that are meant to be good with full of overtakes, like these purpose-built tracks that aren't. I can't remember which ones they were. You know who you are, right? The tracks from the last season when you was watch them and you'd be like, oh, we're 30 laps in, been like no overtakes since the first lap, and this is like a purpose-built track around some, rural area. It's like this should be the one we were a little bit more, you know, disappointed about trying to improve. But anyway, when you watch Monaco, though, obviously the most interesting part and where the fuck-ups can happen throughout history. If you're thinking like, think happened to Bottas, Ricciardo, obviously, Charles Leclerc, is the pit stops. So by adding two, just doubling the chance of just pure dismay and catastrophic error, which is terrible for them, brilliant for us. So you can't go wrong with something like that at Monaco. I think it's the perfect thing to add. Moving on from there though is less news, but I liked ranking the liveries and the race suits and stuff that interests me. And I said I wanted to rank the driver helmets, but I didn't want to go through everyone's Instagram and find their little video where they hold the helmet up and say, let's start now. Season starts here. Let's attack the, I didn't want to do that. But Formula One posted a real easy photo, of all of the helmets next to each other, really tidy in the same sort of, profile or whatever. So it makes my life easy, and we're gonna rank. We're not gonna rank them actually, because I couldn't be asked to go through 20 and put them in places and decide which one, like this green and blue washed out helmet compared to this green and blue washed out helmet. Which one is slightly less mid? Because a lot of them are just mid. So I didn't really want to do that, but I've given them all a grade. I've given them all a number out of 10. The reason I'm pausing so much is because what did I name it? God, that would be brilliant to know. The file. Here it is. I found it. No worries. Everyone can breathe a sigh of relief. It's right here. I was sweating a bit there. I was freaking out. So I've got more. I'm realizing I'm probably gonna have to put the image on screen, I guess. But as you can see here, I guess I'll speak about them in order from left to right. So we'll start off with Lando Norris, which I'm giving this one a 9 out of 10. I like it. And you know why? It feels like for no reason, all 85% of the drivers follow like a kind of template. Like the streaks kind of need to go up and then to the side, and need to shoot back. Like if you look at Alonso's helmet, Verstappen, Lawson, Piastri, Antonelli, Hadjar, Bortoletto, Ocon, they're all fitting into this like template or like set of 12 templates that it feels like you have to pick from, and then the customization really just comes from the colors and then putting your team logo on it. And I kind of like some of the helmets on here. There's like, oh no, it's just a complete, you can just do anything. 9 times out of 10, the best helmets of the drivers are the ones they use on one-off races where it feels like they are actually a design element and they're actually showcasing something fresh. And I kind of like, now Lando used to have like a nice design enough, but it was kind of within one of those templates kind of looking designs. Now he's got like the whole squiggle thing going on. I'm not going to give it a 10 because if the squiggles kind of meant something or represented something, maybe they do, I'd have more reason. But they are kind of just random. It's sort of giving testing my art knowledge now. What's that guy called who just does the stickmen as the art? You learn about him in school. It's not exactly heady stuff here, but you know that guy. I like it though. It's not the most vibrant green, but I actually think it works with this design. I think if it was like a bright neon green, I'd probably like it less. So I actually like the shade of green. I quite like pastel-y colors in general. Although some of these helmets that technically have pastel-y colors more just look like fucking piss or like just ugly on the helmets that are here anyway. But this Lando one is bold, it does the job, it's nice, I very much like it. It's 2 colors, it's simple, the monster logo works well because it's green as well, fits in. Let's just move on. We're spending way too much time on one helmet. Oh my god, there's 20. Next is Piastri's. Like, is that the same shade of green as Lando's? But it just looks ugly as fuck here. It's a 6 for me. These colors together, it's just, I don't know why. It's It's just generic and boring. Moving on from there, we've got Leclerc. I'm also, by the way, taking into account the drivers under the helmets. Because when I think about certain helmets, and I think, oh, and it's with this driver, for some reason that makes me like certain helmets less or more. I can't really explain that from a design point of view. It's just, sorry. Leclerc, I'm giving it 8. It's one of the helmets on here. I think it's probably maybe the best helmet on here that really integrates well with the car. Some people would say that'd be Ocon's with the Haas, with the Haas car in his helmet. I don't want to be calling people basic for that opinion, but I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say it'd probably be Leclerc's car. I just think that white on the bottom part works really well. I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. Moving on to Hamilton, I'm going to give him 9. Basic colour, one basic colour. I think Leclerc, maybe last season or the season before, had a one-off helmet which was just all yellow. Why is this helmet, though, just so much better? It must be the shade. It's the perfect shade of red on this Ferrari with the perfect shade of yellow. The sort of red streaks with a bit of a glow, not like a glow, but like a gradient off them, just a bit of off them a little bit, just works really well. I like the reds just below the visor. It works well, and because I know when that helmet comes off, it is GOAT Hamilton. For some reason, that adds cool points. Trust me, it does. Verstappen's helmet, I think, is basically the same from last year, which was really nice last year. Different sponsor placements, so, and I think it's brought it down a little bit. I'm going to give it a 7. I think it looked better when it had the EA Sports on the mouth part, but it is decent. Lawson's is trying to be decent. Like, this is where I feel like, is there templates that you have to stick to unless you gain a certain amount of credibility and aura or something? Like, did Lando reach certain levels of aura where it's like, okay, he can have whichever helmet he wants? Because it's like Lawson wanted to do something cool and interesting, but is stuck within a template or something. And the pink with the shade of blue and the yellow just doesn't really work that well for me. I think all the Red Bull drivers have. Let's see, what's Sonoda? Oh no, Sonoda does. They all have the Red Bull logo in the exact same part of all of their helmets, so I guess maybe that's a thing you have to have. But I'm going to give it a 6. I wanted to give it higher because I like the pink in concept, but with the logo and stuff placed on the side, it kind of just, it's not really meshing. George Russell is a 7. I get why people would really like these. I mean, him and Ocon, they're sort of fire and ice. They've got very similar helmet designs, kind of the way they look. One's ice blue, one's red hot. And I think for most people, these would probably be the favorite helmets. But I don't know what it is about them. I just feel like it's a bit too obvious. It's kind of what I said with the liveries. It's so easy to make a nice football kit, just do a blackout kit. It's so easy to make a nice kit or car or design for anything if you just do black with a color and just keep it simple and very symmetrical. But it's never going to be that high of a rating for me because it feels too easy. You know what I mean? Antonelli, I'm giving a 6. Now, it is a 4 out of 10/3 out of 10 helmet. But I'm giving it a 6 because the colours on the side really do remind me of just like a shit pizza place. You know, like, this looks like the color, I can imagine right now the top of like a pizza box. And shit only in the sense that like it's not a chain, it's a one-off place and it's probably pretty cheap. The pizza's probably fucking lovely because of that. One of those like sort of spots. But it's just the colours, and is he Italian? Don't know. Actually, I think he was born in Bologna from my research. I remember that. So yeah. Alonso, I'm giving a 4. I just don't like his colours. Maybe they're iconic to him. They're fucking ugly. Don't like him 4. Stroll, 7. You could argue a bit boring. He's got the same colour as Carr in terms of the helmet colour. But I really like these sort of sparkly glints on it. It's kind of giving me the Weekend vibes. Like, I feel like if you took this helmet off, the Weekend would be underneath there. Instead, you take a helmet off and it's, hey, I'm Stroll. You know what I mean? So it's sort of negative a little bit there, but it is nice. Gasly, I'm giving a 5. It looks nice at a distance, and you zoom in and it's like a shitty camo type thing, and it's like, mate, this isn't Call of Duty, move on. Doohan, I've given it a lower rating every time I've seen it. I kind of wanted it to say it was original and stuff, but the shading, even like the shade of red he uses is fucking ugly. This fucking Kick Bukowski, if you remember that TV show, sort of fucking Dynamo, fucking, what's the name of the guy who shoots himself out of cannons? It looks like the kind of helmet you'd wear if you're shooting yourself out of a cannon. 3 out of 10. It gets uglier every time I see it. Ocon, 7, same reason for Russell. Behrman, 6, decent, not reinventing the wheel. Tsunoda, 7. With his design, he really should be hitting the 8s or 9s, but he's used a shitty little template for these fucking fallen autumn-looking leaves. And I think he's used similar designs like this before, and it's really worked. But this just looks like a really cheap template that is just stuck on the top. Could be cooler, but still, it's like an all white base helmet, only one on here. I do like the idea of that. I'd probably go for something maybe kind of like that. Hadja, I like it. He really has like a type of helmet you'd imagine like a motorbike rider having, like, in the way in which he's put the colours, the way it, like, nozzles, but angles down to the mouth area. It just has that the colours create a cool shape for the helmet. Look at the helmet, you'll get what I'm saying. Science went for something a bit interesting, a little bit newer than usual, trying to incorporate more blue. Now he's with Williams and having the red burst out from the back. It's a bit of a unique design here. I quite like what he's going for. I'm giving it a 7. Albon, I bow down to you, mate. You got a 10 out of 10 helmet. His colours are great. That shade of pink is absolutely tremendous. It works so good with the blue. His logo works so well on the side. All of the sponsors, integrations, they're all just plain white, so it's nice and easy and simple. I like the sponsor on the mouth area, the Kraken. Maybe the top of the helmet is the only place I'd knock it down a few points. That exact shade of that color looks like it's a slight different shade from the blue on the front and the sides. It's like the Williams blue, whereas the blue he's using the rest is like his own navy. But it's the nicest for me. It's the nicest design. It's like original. It's cool. It all works well. Maybe there's worlds in which it could be nicer, but let me not be too harsh. Let's just give out 10s if they're worth it. Hulkenberg, a 6. I could see some people really liking this. Those 2 big green stripes down the front though, bit garish. Stars even a bit garish. I don't know, it's not really massively doing something for me, but I kind of like the overall vibe. And then Bortoletto, did you even fucking try, mate? This is shite. 5 out of 10. It's just boring as fuck. It's fucking stripes, and then the colours aren't even great. The final thing I want to say on this one is, guys, you know how much I love Drive to Survive, right? I've kind of not hidden that from you, right? Well, today was a full-blown trailer for me, what is one of the highlights of pre-season, honestly, the season in general, Drive to Survive. Now, let's look at this trailer again, because it's amazing.
This sport is tough.
It's tough.
You cannot underestimate the mental pressure.
You can't.
You have all the eyes on you from the outside.
You do.
We are the Kardashians of Formula One.
The Kardashians.
I look.
And at this point, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is the sort of how they all start the trailers. What's unique about it, though?
Our biggest rival is ourselves.
Sure.
12 years together, Lewis tells me I'm going to Ferrari.
Oh yeah, that's going to be fun. The whole Ferrari of it all.
Good for his bank account.
You not that fun? No.
Who is this guy, by the way?
I never thought I'd have a challenge like this in my career.
They're doing it. The Christian Horner of it all.
We'll see if we can get him to crack.
Zach is a prick. I'm fighting my ass off.
Toto being sacrificed, it looks like.
You know what competition's like.
Ruthless.
Some people rise to it. Some people don't.
I mean, I don't know who that, like, Italian sounding, I don't know if he's Italian mob boss guy was talking to doing, I control your every millimeter. What in the I've not even seen the Godfather, but what in the kind of whole, is that you got Toto just sort of screaming into the heavens like he's sort of, he sold his soul to the devil just to win a single race or whatever. They're doing the Christian Horner stuff, and I was thinking, I wonder if they'll talk about the Christian Horner stuff. Like, are they legally even allowed to? Is that a closed case? I probably should know the answer to that. Of course they are. It's Drive to Survive. They talk about everything, and maybe it's just a surface level. The fact they're still looking like they're using Christian Horner as the guy, like the soundbite guy, to sort of talk in interviews, probably shows that, like, they're, like, okay with believing Horner for the most part is, just kind of move it, like, they're not going to come to a conclusion that is too damning clearly, because nothing's really changing. I mean, I love Christian Horner, so much in terms of, like, for Drive to Survive. So reading all that shit about what he was apparently getting up to, I say apparently, I never looked through the Google Drive, but apparently that was pretty damning stuff. It was just like, no, man. Never meet your heroes. That phrase doesn't work. I haven't met Christian Horner or any, but it's just like, God damn it. That's a shame. But, I don't know how that case ended, if it's still going. I don't know what it was. I know he's still got a job, though. And that was apparently not going to be the case. I remember the time when all the news articles every other week was Christian Horner apparently is going to leave within the next 48 hours. Yeah. Not my Christian Horner. Sorry, I stopped claiming him. But no, it looks great. It looks great. There's a bit of a title fight in it, which, Landon never quite got to capitalize or never quite got to, fulfill. But the Ferrari Toto stuff for me is really interesting. Obviously, the Alpine episodes, which they love to do, or the Haas episodes, sure. There's going to be that filler in there, but there's a lot of good stuff in here. The Christian Horner stuff, the Toto Lewis stuff, a bit of the title fight stuff that I think will be very interesting. You got a couple people losing their seats, obviously, with the Perez's and the Ricardos still being around who'll go out. There was some driver moves, obviously, and obviously we'll get the new Rickies towards the end. But man, I just hope they never stop doing it. I just love them. It's just a great part of the build up to the season. I'm not one of these neeks that are like, oh my god, that audio is not meant to be there. Oh, that track's actually not this track. Because it's like, the show has never lied about what it's trying to be. It's trying to be this big drama-filled time that gets new people into the sport. And it does that, and it still is that. And ultimately, I don't see or notice those things because I'm not looking for them or care. Like, I don't care if they use a bit of radio from another scene in this scene, because the point of the scene is to show that this driver is angry at this driver right now. If they use an audio clip of a driver saying, fuck you, from a different race, that to me isn't like, oh, this thing's a lie now. Well, if they do this, what else would they do? It's like, that's not they're just trying to convey what is actually happening here. The true thing is that this guy doesn't like this guy in this moment. Like, using an audio clip to show that to you, the audience, and build the storyline, to me it's just like, yeah, that is a film making. That is what a film makes. So I look forward to that March 7th. We will be doing an episode on Drive to Survive, more than you believe. But yeah, that was all the stuff from this week. The testing, some quotes, some rule changes, Drive to Survive, helmet designs, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll be here again next week. And as the season starts, obviously every bloody week, even in the off weeks, or maybe not. Last season, with those off weeks, sometimes it's just like, fuck it. But, we're going to try our best. Starting off with, where does it start? Is it Melbourne? What are the odds to put your money on Liam Lawson front row? You just